What's up, guys? I'm Phill and I'm back with another episode of Eepy Time, a series where we kind of just talk and have deep discussions about life and what is that noise? Am I wearing a suit of armor? I just realized my sprayer is a sword. We're gonna be playing Powerwasher Simulator in today's discussion. Whoa, look at those mountains! What a nice place. There's candy canes and stuff everywhere. And gingerbread houses, I think, in a sea of broccoli. So I'm playing the Shrek expansion for this game because I beat the main game already. So we're gonna be playing this today. Something that's more laid back and chill. Something that people can fall asleep to, or just have play in the background. Because that's kind of like what I like to do sometimes if I'm working on something or if I'm just doing my hobbies, is I just have a YouTube video playing in the back. Something that I don't necessarily have to watch, I can just listen to. Just so I think the voices just keep me company in whatever I'm doing. Whenever I was in college, the first thing I do whenever I got home was turn on the TV in my room. I lived in an apartment with 3 other roommates, but they were gone most of the time, so I had a TV in my room and I would turn it on when I got in there, and just to have it playing while I get settled in or go find something to eat or work or game or anything. And luckily my apartment had cable, so I just put on some cartoons and just have it playing in the background. And so that's kind of what I plan on doing for this series, just something for people to play in the background, and or for something people can contribute to if they want to be part of the conversation and share their stories to the questions that we have today. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with the first question. Let's see, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid? So when I was a kid, I was really poor, and I didn't have a lot of toys or anything like that. My family was just working all the time, and most of the time just as a little Asian kid, I was just left at home by myself. Just had to. Sometimes my mom would prepare food at home for me. If not, then I just go make ramen. So I learned to make all that stuff pretty early at a young age, like just the basic stuff like rice and ramen, maybe an egg or two. I ate so much instant ramen and eggs growing up. But one of the things I really liked to do as a kid that I kind of lost a little bit now, and that kind of makes me sad a little bit, is just use my imagination, because I didn't have any toys or anything like that. So what I would do is, I remember one of the things I would like to do is I would just take these magazines, like these what is it, realtor magazines, where they would just have like a bunch of listings of houses and stuff, or like any old magazines, like, junk magazines that people would leave out and stuff, or like they give to your house, or like newspapers or ads, anything like that. And I would just fold it into like a model airplane and just have like airplane battles with each one of them, and just kind of use my imagination. I think that really stemmed from my love of like Power Rangers when I was a kid. I don't remember how it all started, but I really like watching the Power Rangers. I just like the bright colors and the robots. Maybe that's where my love of robots came from. So that's kind of like what I did with the airplanes and stuff. Yeah, most of the time I just spent just using my imagination and exploring, really. I got in trouble a few times when I was younger with my mom, because she would so I had to call her whenever I got home when I was younger. And back then we didn't have cell phones, and I was an elementary school kid, probably like 2nd and 3rd grade, like, young. And I always had this crazy sense of adventure combined with imagination. It's really bad, I mean, good for me, but like bad as in I would make decisions that weren't really logical. Now that I'm thinking about it, I did a lot of dangerous stuff when I was a kid, Because I used to live in California, right? When I was younger. So yeah, every time I would get home from school, I was supposed to call my mom at her work because she had her own business as a nail salon, and we didn't have cell phones, so I had to call her from the home phone, like the landline. But there's been several times where it would be about that time and I didn't call her because I was either hanging out with my friends that were being picked up at school or something like that, and then she would just go ballistic. Like, she would leave work to come home and try to find me, like drive around to schools. And she was, because in California there was this fear at the time, which was, I mean, I think it's valid, of kidnappings. And even before I even was in school, my mom would tell me stories about how I would just open the front door and just go out and play outside. And during that time, when I was like really young, too young to be in school, we lived in a house that was on a very busy street. And so if I was out in the yard, it's literally like 20 feet of yard, no fence, sidewalk, and then like a busy roadway. And she was cooking in the kitchen one time. For that story, she was cooking in the kitchen, and next thing she knows, a neighbor or like some stranger, I think it was like a white person or something, had found me and like picked me up and like went up to the house, and because they saw me playing outside or like playing really close to the roadway, and threatened to call the police on her because I was just like a little kid playing outside and it was dangerous with like no supervision. So it was a lot of stuff like that. So fast forward to elementary school, if there were friends and stuff that were just hanging out at the playground, because my elementary school had a playground that was like kind of like a park, I would go there and I was just, instead of walking home from school with or like catching the bus or something like that, like, because my mom had kind of like talked to a neighbor to like walk home from school with me, just so I could have a adult walk with me. If I didn't do that, if I didn't go home with her, with that person and like give her a call, or if I just didn't, I don't think I rode the bus at the time. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think I rode the bus because there was like one bus that served the entire elementary school. She would go crazy and like try to find me. That day, I got the worst beating I've ever gotten because I was at the playground and my mom was like trying to figure out where I was. And so she drove to our house and she drove around. She's like trying to find me. Like, you know, at the same time she's missing work, which, I mean, it's her business. It's not that big of a deal for her, but you know, it's just like the fear from a mom, and she's just doing the best she can to try to like take care of me, make sure I'm safe. But it's kind of hard for her to be working and doing the, you know, making sure that I get home from school at the same time, which now looking back at it, I kind of should have taken that into consideration a little bit more, you know. So as I grew older, my sense of adventure has gone down a lot. I can kind of pinpoint it. It was probably around high school where I lost my sense of adventure, because just had too many near-death experiences doing stupid things. I still have my sense of imagination, but it's not as good as it used to be. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, you can kind of sense it, right? When you think about all the things you used to do, you can kind of remember the feelings and everything like that. Like, when I was younger, I could tell that I felt like the world was such a big place. There was so many things I didn't know, and I wanted to experience it all and like that great sense of adventure. But now it's like I just want to stay home and be like a homebody. The world is scary and I don't want to, you know, it's tiring. I don't want to do this and that. I just want to hang out at home. Type of person. So that definitely changed for me. Thinking back about high school, I've just done, like, when I say I did dumb things in high school, it was like things that put my life at risk that shouldn't have been in the first, like, it shouldn't be like that in the first place. And the exact moment, I remember this because I just like, I just didn't want to do, I just didn't want to go outside anymore, really. Even though it's a little bit better now. It wasn't trauma or anything. It was just like, this is kind of dumb, and I'm kind of tired, and I just want to, relax now. That's when I really became more lazy, I think. So what happened was I was going on a road trip with some friends, and this is high school, and in high school you do a lot of dumb things, and excuse me, when you're young you think that you're invincible, right? Like you could do anything and whatever, and then you gotta keep in mind I was like a chubby kid in high school compared to my friends who were like super fit, running cross country, which is like, long distance runners that are running like 8-10 miles a day. So they're all super fit, super skinny, super fit, high endurance, stuff like that. And so so the thing that they used to do is they would go on road trips all the time to Colorado, and they would climb the mountains called 14ers. And so I would go with them in the week. These road trips lasted 1 week. And so we would climb a 14er one day. Next day after we were done climbing it, we would drive to the next 14er campsite, camp there, and then climb the next one the next day. So every single day was a 14er. And if you don't climb mountains or hike mountains, you don't understand how crazy this is. 14ers are the highest mountains in Colorado. And if you're not careful, you can get like altitude poisoning, like altitude sickness. And it's when you change in elevation really fast, or you're not used to the altitude, and then you just get really bad nausea, headaches. Your body's not getting enough oxygen or something like that. And you just feel really, really bad, right? So I would be climbing these things every single day. And the place that I normally live, the elevation was like, I think it's like less than 1,000. So you would have to drive to Denver because, Denver is the main city in Colorado, which is the mile high city. The elevation is like 5,200 something. Then you have to go to the 14ers, which is the elevation at the 14ers is a 14er. So at least 14,000. So you can see how crazy difference in the elevation that is. So I got altitude sickness once, probably, during those trips. But most of the time, I was fine. I was just really exhausted. Because these guys would go really, really fast because they're fit and everything. But I was the chubby kid. And then so I just did my best to keep up. As soon as I had to take a lot of breaks, obviously, but I made it up and down, and it was fine. But there's this one time where we would always go during a break. I was in high school, and one of them was in college. And what we did is we would go on spring break, or not spring break. We'd go to winter break. And every time we've gone to Colorado during winter break, it was never snowy. It was just like really nice weather. It was cool enough where you didn't get sweaty. It was like perfect. But there's this one time where we went, and the mountain was super icy, and we had made it to the top. Then we had to make it all the way, like we had to make our way back down. And I don't remember what mountain it was. I don't remember all the details of like the locations and stuff. But there's this steep ridge where we had to go back down because it was kind of like a loop. It wasn't really like go up and then come back down the same way. It was like a loop. But the whole side of that steep mountain was just ice. So it took us 45 minutes for us to carefully go across and make our way down because they had to do this thing called post holing. So every time so I was like the third person in line, but the first person in line had to stomp on the ice and compact it, which each step, and make sure that it was solid for the next person before we moved on. And I'm talking like this cliff, this side of the cliff was almost vertical, right? So if this ice gave way, or if you slipped and fell or something, this is all ice. So you would slide at like super fast speed because this is really steep, like almost vertical cliff face. and slide all the way down, and at the very bottom there was a bunch of huge boulders, and it was very likely that you were just gonna get hurt or like be dead. So that was the most like intense moment I ever had on those one of those trips. And I remember like after that trip, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. It wasn't just that, it was just like when I was thinking about it, besides the life threatening experience, I just didn't have as much fun anymore. Like I like in the first few ones that I went with them, I always look forward to go on these road trips for the sense of adventure and stuff that I still had when I was a kid. But it was like these guys were super fit, like the group never stayed together. And I mean, I wouldn't make them stay and wait for me, but if I was hiking with somebody and they weren't as good as me, I would just walk with them as much as I can. If I'm ahead of them for like a little bit, I would stop and wait, because to me the whole point of this adventure is like to hang out with your friends and create memories and stuff, you know, like not for like everybody to do their own thing and hike it. And then I just remember the exhaustion of just like so these hikes not only were really crazy in elevation, but we're talking about like sometimes like 15-mile hikes that we would do in one day. Get in the car, drive to the next spot, wake up bright and early because you had to get everything done in time, and drive to the next spot before you ran out of daylight. It was just little sleep, barely any food because we're camping. We're not like going to like a restaurant or something. I mean, every like halfway through the trip, we would go to a restaurant or a hotel to clean up, take showers and stuff. But like the conditions were just not fun for just trying to cram everything into it, and just make it like as much as efficient as possible. It just wasn't fun to me. After a while, I went on like 2, 3, or 4 of those trips, and then the last one I was just like, I'm all right. I don't want to go anymore. And I just remember the following year, they when they went on that trip, I was like, I don't want to go. I'm not going, and I just saw them off. So that's pretty much when my sense of adventure kind of died. I still go on 14ers now. That was like over a decade ago. Probably more than that. It's like 15 years ago, probably. But I still do 14ers now with my wife, and it's a lot better because we go at our own pace. We do take a long time now, but I definitely feel altitude sickness now whenever I get back to the car, because I don't know why. Like during the hike I'm fine, but once we get back to the car I just feel sick. So it does make me sad a little bit, because every once in a while I would just hear my wife just say like, man, what happened? You used to have a sense of adventure and like do this and that. Want to do things outdoors and go adventure hiking and this and that. But you know, having done all this stuff before and just remembering all that exhaustion doesn't make it that fun for me anymore. I don't know. And just as I grow older, you come to realize that you're not as invincible. You get more aches and pains. Things hurt a lot more. You start thinking about more risk with work and just other responsibilities. And then to me, it's just like, it's not worth it to go through all that. And especially with how dangerous places are and people, I don't know. Just things are different now, I guess. So, all right, let's go on to the next question. Before I start doing more of this house. Oh. Question 228 is, how do you find balance between giving and receiving? I guess I don't really think about the receiving part. I'm always thinking about the giving part, right? Because if you give something and you expect to receive something, then it doesn't feel genuine at times. Like, I don't give a gift to somebody and then expect them to give me a gift back, right? I give a gift to somebody because I care about them, and I enjoy the relationship that I have with them, and you care about that person. Like, if you give a gift to your mom or your dad, or like people who care about you, do you really expect another gift in return? I don't know. I just feel like this, to me, I know like a lot of people expect that, but to me it just doesn't feel right. And so I just never expect anything, really. Especially if there's some situations where I get a gift from my friends. And I have a few friends that just don't make a lot of money, right? So like, if I get a gift for them, I'm not gonna expect something in return. I just give a gift to them because I like them and I care about them and just want them to be happy and enjoy it. If I get something in return, I always appreciate it too. And I do get stuff, but it's just like, I don't think you should give stuff and expect to receive something in return. That's pretty much it. When I do get a gift though, and I believe that everybody should be like this, like, even if it's just like a cup of coffee or like, it doesn't matter what it is. If someone gets you something, you gotta remember that it's because they're thinking of you, right? They thought of you, they got you something. So even if it's not something that you wanted, or you don't, it's not really what, it's not like something that's you, just appreciate it because they did their best. Walk up here. Ugh, I just heard a fly. It was like right next to my ear. It's coming from the game for sure, but I'm just thinking about how dirty this candy house is. This should be all mold. It's not dirt, that's mold, because it's like a food house made of food. Isn't getting clean? Sure, maybe I should go up one more level. I think it'll be too high at that point. Can I get that? Might have to move it. Oh, there we go. But I do enjoy getting gifts. I really appreciate it, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much, because whenever I get something, I'm like, thank you. I know you worked really hard to earn, to make a living, and the fact that you still thought about me and got me something is, I really appreciate it. I really do. And so it makes you really value. I just really value that. Whenever I think about what kind of love language I have, if you guys are into that kind of stuff, I can't pinpoint one love language that pertains to me. I think because like I really enjoy all of them. I know that there's like 5, maybe there's more now, I don't know, but when there was 5, all of them kind of apply to me because I really cherish the small things, This ain't clean yet. Yeah, it's clean. Okay, good. I'm just spraying water on there for no reason, just making it soggy bread house. Wait, there's something here that's not clean. Oh, okay. I can't pinpoint it. Is is it this? Yeah, it's the flatbed. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Nice. The onion is clean, I think. Something else wasn't clean in here. Is it inside? No, this. I think it's good enough. Let's work on this side now. And we can move on to the next question. Question 225 is, what does it mean to be successful? I think that's just really different for everybody, right? So my definition of being successful is being able to take care of yourself and your family, being able to be happy and relax. If you're working, I'm just gonna say if I'm working, because this is my definition of it. If I'm working like 80 hours a week, then I don't, like, no matter how much money I make, I don't think that's being successful. Like I could be making $1 million a year or something like that. But if I'm not taking the time to take care of my family, or I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not going on vacations, not really enjoying life, I don't consider that to be successful. You got to be able to, pay all your bills, still have money to go out to eat, enjoy life, provide your family with the things that they need and the things that they want. I think that's the definition of being successful. So I don't think it has something to do with being like amount of money that you have or anything like that. I think it's a balance. It's a balance of having enough money to get things done, but also finding happiness. If anybody ever tells you that money can't buy happiness, you tell them that they're lying. Because if I had $1 million right now, I would be pretty damn happy. I believe it's just something that rich people tell poor people so they don't worry about money. But at the same time, don't be working crazy hours and sacrificing your time for money. It's not worth it. If you can work as little as possible but make as much as possible, that's the way to go. Gotta really utilize your free time, because you can always make more money. You can't make more time. So use that opportunity to do the things that you like. My advice would be just to, spend the time to hang out with family and people that you really love, because in the end, when you don't never know what happens. It's life. You will never know what happens, and you will always have regrets no matter what. You can do everything right, but you will have regrets. Like, what can I do? I should have spent more time with them. I could have done this and that, whatever. But by doing the best that you can at least make the regret a little bit less. Make it just make it a little bit better, in my opinion. Man, I really like these candy windows. They're just annoying to clean though. This heart reminds me of those Valentine candies, the ones with the words on them that you would give out in school. Also kind of miss that, having Valentines in school, in elementary school, where you go around and gave everybody a candy or a note or something that your mom would have to buy for you. Is it clean yet? I think this window's clean. The windowsill's not clean. There you go. We're gonna make this house so soggy. And watch that. Other than that, it's pretty simple. Just be happy. Have a little bit of money. Just be happy, and relationships. That's what it really takes to be successful. And when you're at that level of success, the way, like the level of success that I'm talking about, you kind of get these like life buffs in terms of like a video game. You get these buffs that kind of just stay with you, and stuff like having the confidence, like just a boost in confidence, +5 to confidence, I would say, that always stays with you. You don't really have to worry about anything. And you don't really have to worry about what other people think, because the ones that love you think that you're great. So who cares about what other people thinks? That's the thing that I don't understand sometimes. How people always wear like the most expensive this and that, purses, watches, and whatever, and try to like do it to be flashy or show off or something like that. I just never really understood that. I mean, I like having nice things, and it's pretty cool to have like expensive stuff as long as the quality matches it. I'm not gonna pay like thousands of dollars for something that doesn't have the quality. That doesn't make sense to me. But having something nice is fine. I just don't understand the part where people have it just to show off to other people. I'm not saying don't have nice things. I'm just saying, like, one, sometimes it's not worth it to spend like $10,000 on a watch or more. And two, you shouldn't be getting that just to show off to people, because that happiness is fleeting and you will always spend more, which means that if you don't have money, you will always be broke. So it's not worth it. There. Oh, these rocks are gonna be annoying. I know I'm gonna miss a few of them. I haven't been really paying attention. There we go. All right. Let me get this chimney and then we can move on to the next question. I hope that you guys enjoy these little topics that I have. Little tidbits that I share about my life. Because I'm not like, I mean, I'm pretty old, but I'm not like old enough where I could start spouting and reminiscing about the old days and telling people about, you know, giving out life lessons. But at least I can share my experience so you guys can get to know me a little bit better. And then I hope that you guys share your experiences too, with these kind of talking prompts, because I would like to know as well. And I'll read them so I can kind of know your histories. Because I know everybody goes through life in a different way. Everybody has their own flavor. Yum, 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 yum. I said that because all these colors are making me want to eat some candy. Did you guys know like Skittles is like the worst, is like the most unhealthy candy for you? I didn't know that. I love Skittles. I guess they have a lot of like artificial stuff in them or something. I learned that the other day. I was eating some candy and I saw an article that said that they were really bad or something. Like the worst candy health-wise. Oh, but they taste so good. All right. I can't get up there, so I think this is good. Let's move on to the next question. Look, what is this candy supposed to be? I'm not sure. It must be like a one of those candies that you find in your grandma's little tin can or something, besides sewing supplies. All right, let's go see what the next question is. Okay, question 85 is, what would you write a book about? First of all, I wouldn't ever write a book or anything like that, because my imagination isn't as good as it used to be, and also I am a terrible writer. Like, growing up, I did not have anybody to teach me English. It was just literally what I could learn in school. So, and you know, American school system kind of sucks. So, didn't really do good in writing. Like, it's so bad. Like, I was reading some of the stuff, even my resume when I graduated college and stuff, like that bad. I was like, what the hell was I smoking? I don't understand anything that I'm reading. None of this makes sense. It's not like coherent. Then again, I didn't really sleep that much in college, so that could be it too, just being tired all the time. I don't know, but it was really bad. It's a lot better now because, you know, working full-time and being like a technical, like writing reports and stuff, or like working with other people, it kind of improves. But I still type messages to other people without proper punctuation. Grammar is really bad. It's the worst. This is clean. But yeah, I have the worst English skills. I could never write a book. But if I was, I would write a book about a dungeon adventure. Kind of like a D&D book. Oh my god, that would be so fun. Can you imagine that? Like, if you have a really big imagination, I mean, people do this all the time, especially if you're a dungeon master. I've never played D&D, but I am currently learning. I'm reading a book about how to be a dungeon master because my friends just really love that stuff, but nobody wants to do it because they never play D&D either. But I think that just if I write a book, I would love to write a dungeon book. I think that would be so fun. Creating just creating one from scratch that people can use. Creating a world with your own imagination, own rules, own monsters, background. Like, if you think about your favorite animes, or your favorite cartoon shows or like Pokemon or like stuff like that, and you're trying to take those elements and to create your own world. That would be amazing. I've thought about it several times. Like I really like the idea of like Pokemon, how there's a ton of different creatures, different items and stuff, kind of like making it a balance between the card game and the show itself, but like putting my own world into it. So taking those elements and then creating your own world from that, and then combining that world with stuff from D&D, like where you have the RPG elements and just all of that stuff. I think that would be really, really awesome. So that's what I would do. I would never do anything boring like a memoir or like anything nonfiction like that, because one, my life isn't that interesting. You know, it's pretty common. Poor kid grows up, is poor enough to go to college, and you know, ends up working his whole life until he retires, and that's it. So my life is nothing special and nothing interesting. But man, I would love to do something like that. I'm a terrible writer, and writing would probably make me pass out in terms of like boredom and stuff. But for something like that, if I can like talk to somebody to create that for me, I think that would be pretty cool. And then I don't know. I don't think I would charge anything for like that. The business part of me says I would. It's like telling me that you should kind of charge it, but if it is something that I really like and something that I really enjoy, I don't want to charge money for it, because then it becomes a business. It becomes work, right? And even though there's things where people say, yeah, if you work and do the thing if you do the thing you love, you never work a day in your life. You're still working, because there's always something that comes up. There's always problems that come up. So I would just like to do it as a hobby and make it available for everyone, I think. Kind of like how YouTube is, where I don't really do this for the money, because I don't care enough to follow all the rules of YouTube, in terms, not like rules, but like the format to be successful. I just like creating stuff. So I don't see myself becoming that successful in YouTube. But at least if I can help somebody out and do something nice for the community, I think that's all that I would like. Just cleaning all this candy. Yo, this candy is dirty as fuck. So man, I would consider myself a creative person. I do like creating things, but I think unfortunately my logical side is more dominant. Let's change this to this, because I believe everybody has two sides, right? Of their brain. You got your logical side and your artistic side. And if there's an imbalance, or if you don't know how to turn one off and on, it can really affect your life, is what I've noticed. If someone's too logical, they're heartless. They do things because it's what it should be, right? But then things like love, things like happiness aren't always logical. If it makes you happy to, for example, just take a walk every day, but there's like a blizzard outside, but you still want to take your walk, that's not very smart. That's not very logical. But you do it anyway because it makes you happy, right? So I think that's like the art side, the emotional art side of things. So I think there needs to be a good balance between the two. And unfortunately, I lean more on the logical side. It's not to say that I'm heartless. I just know that I can switch one on and off, but just I know from my life experiences, from interacting with people, or just from my thought processes, my career and all that stuff, I'm very much a logical person. Every time I make decisions, the first thing I do is I think about it like a lawyer, because lawyers 100% logical. They're trying to win. They're trying to do it's black and white, even though some things aren't always black and white. Like you're defending a client, they have to be innocent. You know what I mean? So, and then you fight for them, even though you know that they did something wrong, like if they murdered the person or something like that, or it's like, you know that they're wrong, you have to find a way for them to be innocent, and you have to believe yourself that it's innocent. And also just the law, like the legal system, not very black and white. You can be the nicest person ever, but if you do something and it's illegal, it's illegal. Whereas like the more artistic or the emotional side of things can look at something and be like, that, come on, man, really? That's not right. Like getting a ticket. If you're going 41 miles per hour in a 40 mile per hour zone, that's speeding. They cops can give you a ticket. Are most cops gonna pull you over for that? Probably not, right? But I mean, that's the difference of it. So I think everybody has that. I just lean more on the logical side. Okay, let's wait for this dialogue to be done. Ugh, is that like someone like sneezed on that wall? And then let's go on to the next question. Okay, question 313. What does it mean to be a good friend? I think it depends on the type of relationship that you have with your friends. Because a good friend could be the type of friend that just like just calls your friend every single day, or just talk to them every single day. And then there's, you know, just being a good friend as in leave them alone, but just be there whenever they need you. It really depends. I think my definition of being a good friend is just being nice to them. Just being nice to them and don't take advantage of them. A lot of people seem to do that, and I try really hard not to, but I can see myself back then being that type of person. I'm not that, well, not in that way. Okay, so in a good relationship you tend to be more relaxed with things, and when you're too relaxed, sometimes you just kind of, one person can be more beneficial in the relationship than the other. Or like if you're out doing something and you see something really cool and you text it to your friend, and your friend's like, yeah, can you get that for me, or something like that, then one side could definitely benefit more than the other side, in that sense, in the sense that, you know, one person might be spending more money than the other side if they don't pay you back the direct amount. Like if I go out and I buy something for my friend, if it's just like lunch or something like that, I usually don't say anything, right? But I could see like for example, I keep saying this, so like back then I had a lot of friends in school, and I would just buy them alcohol and stuff. And what the heck? Oh, okay. It's like, I thought this dark color was dirty, so I kept washing it, hoping it would turn white, like this white, but it wasn't turning white. I was like, what the heck is it going? What the hell? Okay. And so what happened was, when I would buy them alcohol, they would always ask me for, like, you know, this and that, and I would always get it for them. And then for my side, I want to take care of my friends and stuff, so I would always throw in something that they could have for their party, or like something that they can have together or something like that. So what I would do is I always go for two options. I would always get Grey Goose, or I'd always get Ciroc, right? Because those were the alcohols that would always be in every single like rap song or something like that at the time. So they were just really popular at the time. But then what happens is I ended up, you know, giving them these gifts, and it was fine. I mean, I chose to do it. They didn't ask for it. I chose to do it. But then whenever it came to me asking for stuff, because I would be in school or something, and then they would be at the store preparing for a party or something like that. It wouldn't always be the same. Or sometimes it depends on the person. I would know like, oh, this person could kind of afford it a little bit more. Then I would ask for like something that's a little bit more expensive. Besides like the general cheap college liquor or something like that. Like, you know, the Burnett's or something, or like the Smirnoffs. I would ask for something like higher end or something like that. I say high end, but like I would get like not meme drinks, but I'd get like a Jägermeister. No, wait, that's not the thing I'm thinking of. But Goldschlager, the alcohol that has like gold flakes in it. But yeah, just gotta be careful with that kind of stuff. Just don't take advantage of your friends, and then don't let your friends take advantage of you, you know, because then it just puts you might not mind it now, but over time, as they keep doing it, you're gonna mind it, and they might not even realize it, because if they do realize it and they're doing it, then they're not a good friend. But they might not realize it, so, you know, just speak up about it, or like just ask them to pay you back. Because, you know, it's a legit ask. If they get mad about it, then they're not a good friend either. Like, they're asking you to buy it, but they won't pay you back. Yeah, and just make sure that whoa, you keep up with them. Check in on them, ask them how they're doing, because it's really easy to lose friends, but it's very hard to make friends. But it's also easy to maintain friends, so just gotta reach out pretty often, keep that relationship fresh, because you know it's a really good friend if you both can sit in the same room and not talk to each other and still have a good time. That's my opinion. That's what I do with some of my friends whenever we hang out. When we hang out, we can both be doing something different, but it's just like appreciating each other's company that makes it pretty cool. It's like just that level of trust and comfort of being in each other's presence. Oh god, now I gotta get the roof. I got all the sides, I think. The suit of armor sounds so heavy. So I think I gotta go on the roof now. Everything should be cleaned, I think. Yeah, all the faces of the building should be cleaned. Please. Oh, this thing's not clean. Let's try to check this thing's not clean. I'm saying this thing's not clean, but what the heck? Oh, there it is. Okay, check this railing. I knew this railing was gonna be a pain in the butt. These little Hershey Kiss looking things. Okay, I think that should be good. Windows, do a quick scan. What? Okay, that's the roof icing. Okay, so now we just have the roof left. But let's go ahead and whoa. Let's go ahead and get the next question. $13. Okay. So we are on 71. So question 71 is, what sparks your creativity, makes the wheels in your head start turning? I think I have a pretty smooth brain, so I would say that if it's something that's very interesting to me, or something that is very nostalgic to me, like Pokemon or Power Rangers, or I don't know, it just has to be something that I'm interested in. And then if there's a problem with it, or there's something that a new idea or something that makes me start thinking about a solution or a creative way to adapt it to something, that will make me be creative a little bit more. For example, like if I'm painting something, or if I want to paint something, if I I can't like just paint something from my mind and make it look good, right? I have to like adapt it to something. I guess it's just how my brain works. So I would just start thinking about color schemes of things that I like. So, for example, you know, I don't know, if you think about like Pikachu, I like Pikachu. So I would adapt that color scheme to kind of like what I'm building. If I was building like a Gundam or something, or a model, some sort of model. Or if there is something that I'm kind of knowledgeable in, like for example, like math or something. I don't know a lot about math, but I mean, I've taken a look, like a good enough amount of it to be helpful. But if there's like a topic that I'm just very knowledgeable in, and somebody has a question or they don't quite understand it, whether it be like mountains or literally, I mean, I don't know much about mountains either, but like things that I enjoy doing, that really gets me thinking about ways for me to help that person, but also what my next adventure in that topic that we're talking about is. So if I were to use like the weird one, like math, I would start thinking about like, okay, well, what's like next step with this math? I have all this math knowledge, and then I quickly realized that, oh wait, that's my job. I don't want to think about math anymore. Is that a donut? I'm also like a little kid. I love bright colors, and I like watching cartoons and stuff. That's something that my wife points out all the time. She's like, why do you always just watch just like SpongeBob or cartoons or something like that? And I'm like, I don't know, I just like the bright colors, I guess. I guess that's why like I like Power Rangers and Pokemon, because they all have like specific color schemes and stuff. God dang, this roof is so dirty. I want to look at the donut. This pink donut reminds me of The Simpsons. Clean the hole. And that, okay. That's good. I gotta clean the sides. I think I might need the ladder for that. Let's go ahead and switch this out. Not that one, this one. So we can have a longer reach. But I would consider myself a creative person. I like art. I like going to museums and stuff. I don't understand any of it, but I like looking at it. And then it's even better if it's like in the style of a cartoon or anime, anything like that. I like watching anime because it's in a way kind of like a cartoon, but there's more variety, and it's more, it can be like serious at sometimes. If you guys love anime, let me know your favorite one so I can have something else to watch. Right now we're trying to get caught up in Tokyo Ghoul, and we're on the last season, but god dang, I've lost interest. This story makes no sense to me. I don't really keep up with like the current news and all that stuff, but I bet you there's no way people like that last season, man. There's no way. It made no sense at all. It's so confusing. People started saying names, and other people started showing up, and I didn't know who people were or remembered who people were. It's pretty bad. Which makes me sad because the first 2 seasons were pretty good. And if you guys haven't watched anime yet, you guys should start, because I think anime is just a really good it's a really good representation of what you can do with your imagination, right? Because if you watch something live action, yeah, you can act some things out, you can have this and that, have movies and have different stories, but animation really lets your imagination run wild. And so it really has no limit, because it could be anything that you want, whereas live action, I feel like there's limits based on technology, and different capabilities. That's why I really love anime, because you can do anything. You can get the most wild fights, like anime fights, and just the most wild details that you cannot get in a live action or like a regular movie. Like, I'm pretty sure people know what Naruto is. Can you imagine if they tried to do a live action Naruto versus Sasuke fight or something like that? That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's like CGI, but the whole movie is CGI, which is pretty cool. And I know that it can be a hard, hard area of people to get into, like if you're not used to anime and any of that stuff. But think about like the Transformers, right? Like, what makes that movie so awesome? It's like the mechanisms and the different designs and explosions of the robots. But like, think about that, and then transfer to anime and how creative and the capabilities of what you can do in it, and it's limitless, and it's the same thing. So if you like that kind of stuff, that's a good way of just getting into anime. Just know that you have to watch the right ones, of course, but because there's a bunch of different types. But if you like the action type, I think the action type is the best way for someone to get into anime. Like, all the ones that are really flashy fighting scenes and just have really good animations. I think anime movies are really good to get into, especially the ones about like food or has like a lot of food in them. Oh my god, anime food always looks so good. All right, let's go to the next question. What movie character would you want to be like? That's question number 14. That's a hard one. Who would I want to be like? If I was an animal, I would want to be like Paddington. Because I'm an animal, I'm adorable. I have a loving family. And it's a pretty peaceful world, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to live in a world that's kind of crazy or anything like that. If I was a human, if I had to be a human, what world would I want to be in? I wouldn't want to be in a world where there's a bunch of like monsters or anything. I can be Goku in the really bad Dragon Ball Z movie, but I don't even know if I would want to be that. Oh, anime movie? If I could be an anime movie, I would be Goku. But I would want to start out as baby Goku, like when he's younger. Like in the Dragon Ball series, that's when I would want to start out in. But then I have to go through all the times that he got beat up in. That would suck. Because like if you look at the old Dragon Ball movies compared to the more recent ones, the old ones were dark. There would be like blood everywhere. Like Goku would get trashed. Like he would just get completely messed up. It was really bad. And the situations were a little bit more realistic. So that's why I like the old ones. So if I was an animation, I think that would be it. But I'm thinking of like real life movie, right? I think that's what the question's asking for. But I can't think of any movie character, real life movie character. I wouldn't want to be like a Marvel character because there's just like, it's just too much going on all the time. Can you imagine if your life was like a comic book? Oh my god, you would never get a day off. Once you defeat a villain, another one pops up. Oh, it's too much. It's too much. It'd be cool to have superpowers, but you know that there's always going to be a super villain. Or like the world's always going to be in danger. Wow, this is a question that's a little bit harder than I thought. This is the one that I spent the most time on. Movie. Let's think for a second. I think it would be pretty cool to be a character in a kind of like a rom-com, because it would be really funny, but at the same time, it could be a little bit serious, you know, and it's about love. As long as it's not too cheesy, I think that would be pretty fun. So I'm gonna go with that answer because I like rom-coms too. It's just not my go-to, and rom-coms are usually like live action. I mean, it can be in anything, but I keep saying live action, but you know what I mean, like with real people acting, not animated. So I think that covers all of our bases. I just can't think of a specific movie right now because I'm really bad at that. I'm terrible at remembering people's names, movie and song titles, band names, just anything that's like that. I can remember, like if I hear a song, I can be like, yeah, I've heard that before, but I cannot remember the name of them. Man, I'm trying to get this to 100%. I can't see. Oh, there it is. That. I think we got everything. What the heck? It's clean, damn it. Okay, I guess we just gotta go around and start aiming at things. I think it's under the roofs and stuff. Like right here, yeah. So that should be clean. What's that? Oh, chimney donut. Where's the ladder? Grab that. Put that right. A little farther back. Right there. So this one? The yellow. Whoa. The white one? It's the chocolate one. It's just the chocolate one. I can't even see anything from here. Oh, I see a little bit. Use that. There we go. Now that's done. Roof wall's not done? Oh, I see. It's like right here. Yep. Candy cane's done now too. I know it's gonna be one of these stupid rocks. These rocks just look like concrete. It doesn't even look edible. Oh my god, this whole thing's dirty. Alright, heart sign icing. Oh, I see it. At least this one's pretty easy. I hate it whenever you like running around, you can't find whatever it is you're looking for, because it's the smallest thing. It's the smallest dirt speck on the smallest item. So annoying. Okay. Rear walls and roof icing. So it's this thing. Okay, so this side's good. The back side's good. How's this one? That one's good. I can't tell where it... Oh, it's this one. The back one. Okay, that one's good. And now we have the rear walls. So it's back here. Has to be this one, isn't it? Or is it this one? Yeah, this is it. That's it. Let's take a look at it. I love these little videos they make of the cleanings. Yum, yum, yum. Looks edible again. And definitely not full of mold. So that's all the time we have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this little session that we had. If it's therapeutic for you, I hope it helps. But please leave a comment to the questions that we had. Let me know what your stories are. And if you're sleeping, have a good sleep. And I will see you guys in the next episode.